Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this AxisVM training course, and the topic for today will be the main menu. Main menu is the first one. We got this menu file, and we have a couple of functions here, and this is what we are going to see in today's lesson. So starting with the new command. The new command will start a new model by default. We can check this window. So we have this information. We can start with the predefined view. We can define the folder where the model will be stored, file name, design codes that we want to apply, units and formats. We can change the settings of these units and formats for a lot of issues. The language of the report, and also make a definition about the page header when we create the report. We can insert a logo, and we can have some description, comments, and some additional features. So it's pretty much basic, and it's simply starting of a new file. Then we have the open. We can open an existing file from your machine. It's also standard. We have a very interesting function called previous revisions. And previous revisions, we can have some revisions of the same model. So we can store different stages of this model. We can manage these revisions. For example, on the settings, we can establish the maximum number of revisions we can save inside the software. So it's very interesting, and if you agree with me, so for example, this definition, these 20 revisions we have, it's a very good number. We can increase it, but it allows us to have a lot of different states of your model along the calculation and the building process. Besides this, we have also the standard commands, both the save, which is basically saving the file you have. You can have also the save as, which is basically the same but allow us to give a new name, so we can change from different types of formats. Then we have these important functions, both export and import. Starting with the export, so it's basically saving a file, but we can say save it along one of these different formats. So there are a couple of important topics about some of these formats, because we can use these DXFs, which are standard in the industry, but we have these specific ones, so Glazer, Tekla, whatever. So there are more functions, more the descriptions about some settings for each one of these formats in our theoretical course. So it will be very good for you to check a couple of more options in these different possibilities that we have. We have a couple of settings also in this export. So entire model, or display some parts only, and a choice from different objects, different options that we have also available. We can say on the opposite direction we have the import, so we can import also a couple of formats. In this particular case, less than the other one, so we can have only the DXF and the PDF, so we can import some things. There is a function also specifically for the page header. If you remember, when we start this video, on the new model we were able, on that dialog box, we were able to define the page header, but we have a specific function for defining this page header. So it's pretty much the same. We can apply a logo and define what we want to use and how to use it, and a couple of descriptions, but it is the same as on the new command that opens that big dialog box. Then functions for printing. So print, this is quite interactive, so we can define a lot of things, and what we are defining will appear here. So these are more or less standard options, so it's quite easy to understand what we are doing. So we can choose from all of these things. We have the print setup, which basically allow us to define how the setup of printing will work. So it's more more to the printer and less to the file. So it's basically equal to all the programs that we have running under our operating system. And we can choose also to print to a file. Okay, it's also possible here. To finish, we have these three functions that allow us to, all of them allow us to connect to libraries inside the software. The first one, model library, where we can manage the files we have in our PC, in our machine. We have also a material library that allow us to access a preloaded material which contain the most frequently used materials, and we can manage this. So if we click in some of these in any of these materials, so we can define names and so on and manage that information, and these properties of the material that are related with the entry in this table. And we can create new materials and for sure define all the necessary properties. So we can manage this information in this function here. Besides the material, we have also a cross-section library where we have also all the shapes. So many different libraries inside this table browser. So we can open and see what each one of these things has to the user. So a lot of different things. Okay, and we can define also the informations. We can define the section of the profile. So everything is open, and we can also insert new things, define new shapes. So we have everything open and available to the user. So it's very flexible to work with Axis. Finally, we have first the last open files in the bottom, and we have the exit that will close the software, and we will close first the session and the software also. So this was what I had to talk and to present about this lesson that was dedicated to the main menu. Any questions or any help that you may need about this topic, so we are around, so you can make a contact with us and we will give you all the necessary support.